Welcome. Welcome to the brand new Hunt the Front podcast YouTube channel. Hopefully everything's working just as well here as it was over on the main channel when we went live there the last couple nights. Fellas,
Hopefully.
everything good on y'all's end?
I think we're good.
I think we got it.
Loud and
Of course,
clear
I
over
can
here.
All right. Hey, I just want to say, did I not call it last night? Did I not tell y'all
You told us,
O'Neal
Jonathan.
was going to win tonight?
Hey, a lucky guess.
I don't know how we don't just keep listening to you.
Yeah.
Y'all got
Whoa.
yeah. Well, first of all, y'all need to start listening to me. That's
got
a
some
good. Let's
numbers.
start there. But yeah, another good one at Volusia. This time O'Neal comes out. Hudson O'Neal comes out on top, wins $15,000. The second race of the 2024 World Outlaws season, and definitely some different guys up front this time than we had last night. I mean, some of the same guys. Moran was still up there, but Bronson finished his second. Kyle Bronson, he was a lap car last night. Rebounds to finish second tonight. Who else was up there mixing it up some that wasn't in the picture? There was a couple others.
Bobby got up there. That Garrett
Bobby.
Smith was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Dennis Erb Jr. in the top 10 in a rocket. So you had two rockets in the top 10 tonight, by the way. I think I am looking at that correctly. Yeah.
Yep. It was Dennis Erb and Hudson O'Neal for your Rockets.
All in all, pretty good race though. And similar to last night where it felt like, okay, the track's going rubber, it's going to be a snoozer, and ended up being all right.
Yeah, I was pretty worried. Like how often they were having to work the track, and then how quickly it got rubbered right back up with the crates going back out there. And what when we were watching it, what was it, halfway? We thought it might have been trying to, Joseph.
No, it wasn't even halfway yet. I wrote it down. Lap 12. One of you asked, "Is it rubbering?" Because y'all are seeing the streaks.
Right. It I don't really think that it did. I think it kind of held on there, and because they were running
Yeah.
more in the brown part of the track there, not necessarily depending on rubber. So
Well, RTJ went from 23rd to 4th. So
Dude, that's impressive. Did you guys see his qualifying run?
I didn't.
Man,
What happened?
bad.
So he goes, takes the green, and he goes off into turn 3, jumps the cushion. I suppose I don't know, jumps the cushion, kind of plows through there. I don't know if it was intentional because he knows that he messed up and needed to kind of reset and get another
Mhm.
a better run. That's kind of my take on it. But maybe he did just loop it. I don't know. To get a reset, and then he gets one lap after that and just kind of really buries himself there in qualify. He tried a way different line through 1 and 2, kind of like a cut down, went into the cut down and then drove off down by the
Yeah.
wall. But obviously that didn't pay off. But what a hell of a run from the back of the field to where he ended up in 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to throw a little bit of an elbow just to get into the show
I
there in the
seen
B
that.
main to
Do you
Gustin.
think it was? Do you think it was justified? Did you guys see it?
I mean, it's a transfer spot in the B main, and
Right.
RTJ doesn't have a provisional, so
Right.
yeah, everything goes at that point.
I feel like the race. I mean, obviously you had Moran and Hudson O'Neal going back and forth, really entertaining. You would like to see it stay green there and not have the caution with what was it, 9 or
Yeah.
something to go.
Right.
Yeah, lap 33.
Yeah,
Caution
so,
was
okay.
on Marler.
Yeah, you'd like to see that not happen because they were racing really good through lap traffic, and I feel like they were really tit for tat, if you will, back and forth there. I think that the caution and then Bronson getting in the mix there kind of impeded Moran's progress some.
O'Neal could really get that run off the bottom of 2, whereas
Right.
Moran was still floating up, and you could see O'Neal kind of dropping down to hit that, traction and
Mhm.
really get a run. And like you said, he definitely found that in traffic before Moran did, and that kind of helped. He was able to use that in traffic to get to the lead.
Right.
But I think once if that had stayed green, I don't know that he had the advantage anymore. And through traffic, he just happened to find that and get to the lead,
Right.
get back to the lead.
I found myself thinking it needed to have been a 50 lap race. Like, you know what I
I
mean?
don't know why it wasn't.
I would have liked to have seen it. Like RTJ coming from the rear. Like I would like to see him have another 10 laps to do something else. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, we're racing for $15,000. I mean,
right?
I understand the place is huge, but 50 laps is fine. I don't think nobody complains
Right.
about it being 50. You know?
Oh yeah.
I think you had Pierce seemed like he might have had a little more in the tank. You just had several guys there, Pierce, Shepard, and RTJ. RTJ for sure. That it seemed like it'd have been nice to see them have a little more time and see what they ended up doing with it.
Yeah. Well,
Even
I feel like-
Bronson.
yeah.
Bronson
for
was
sure.
running, dude. That was an
Mhm.
impressive run for Bronson.
I feel like if it's a 50 lapper, the race is totally different. It's probably still good, but it's different because I feel like tire choice is a lot different there. A lot of different combinations for the extra 10 laps. You know, I think that the last 10 laps there, if they go 10 more laps to make 50, I think the racetrack does start getting clean in places in that process. So I think everybody would be prepared for that with their tire choice, whether or not it was different than what they had on tonight. I don't feel like I don't know what anybody had, but I don't feel like there was a whole lot of fours in the field. Maybe
And
a
they
couple.
would have had them if they were going to
Yeah.
go 50 laps.
I would think, yeah.
I think it's more of like you're willing to gamble, right?
Mhm.
If with it being 40 laps, it's like, all right, I
Mhm.
think it'll make it. We'll be fine. But like Joe's saying, if it's 50 laps, there's going to probably be a whole lot more people that are just going to say, all right, we're just going to be safe. We're going to have to go on the hard tire here.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. All in all, it still ended up being a good race, and it never rubbered, so or not,
Yeah.
significantly in the feature. So it
Yeah.
all worked out. But it definitely is like, and I know I told y'all several times, like, man, I wish race was going to be a little bit longer. Anybody wanting to change their predictions?
Nah.
Too early for that. Huh?
Yeah.
It's too early. You just don't know. You got to wait until after speed.
Where
week,
was
I
Madden
think.
tonight?
He was
He
like
ended
8th or
up
9th or something.
ninth.
Really?
He's
He
top
was
10, yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like he was trying to get the top rolling or something, but he run off the top like 3 times, and
Mm.
then he
Costing a
moves
lot of ground.
down, and then Bobby Pierce moves up to where he was running and goes right around him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shepard, he was fast both nights. I guess the only question mark out of the predictions for the World Outlaws would be Madden. He didn't didn't seem to have things roll. I mean, he wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but
He's in the top 10 both nights. Wasn't he?
right, he was. But Shepard and Pierce, they're there,
Top fives both
yeah,
nights.
is just as fast as anybody, basically.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you can't.
He ain't far off, right?
Right.
You
there.
can't count him out
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still salvages a top 10 both nights. A good
Yeah.
run, even when he's not at his best. I would still argue Moran looks really good, but he always looks, it seems to me, and I mentioned this last night, he always looks really good in speed weeks.
And I actually think Moran kind of hit on that in his interview tonight. He's like, "Well, I did the same thing last year, and then it was a very up and down year. We got to find some consistency." So I feel like he knows it. He's got to get some consistency, even though he comes out swinging, early in the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's not new for him. I remember he won a race at East Bay or something, but I remember interviewing him. This was back when I worked for Dirt on Dirt, the second go round. So what, 2020, 2021, interviewed him, and he was talking about how he wished he could run as well everywhere throughout the year as he does in Florida, between East Bay and Volusia. So that's not anything new for him. For some reason, he's just good at the Speed Weeks tracks.
All in all, though, good show tonight and last night. Good racing. And the part I like the most about it, I've mentioned this several times, is you're getting like, golly, I'm just going to watch football. Like, to be honest with you, I might have, if we weren't planning on doing this, I might have got to watching football and forgot about the race because I assumed it was going to be a snoozer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
And impressive
Not the case,
though.
Bubba.
No, would have missed a good race both nights.